Hello, welcome to Levant TV Headlines. Iran's Foreign Minister Mohammad Zarif met Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in Damascus on Wednesday and called on regional countries to fight terrorism and extremism. ISIS has claimed responsibility for the truck bombing at a Baghdad market that killed 62 people and wounded at least 89. An Egyptian group allied to Islamic State has published a photograph it said showed the beheaded body of a Croatian hostage it threatened to kill last week. A tent was torched and Hebrew-language graffiti was sprayed at a Palestinian Bedouin village in the occupied West Bank in what residents and an NGO said was a suspected attack by Jewish extremists. And warring factions in Libya ended 2 days of UN-sponsored talks in Geneva on Wednesday with a pledge to end the political crisis and military conflict in the country within weeks. And now let's take a look at the top headlines in today's newspapers in the Middle East. Starting from Cairo, the Egypt Independent leads reporting that 15 elder citizens died on Wednesday due to a high heat wave, which has been hitting Egypt lately, leaving at least 76 citizens officially announced dead this week. The paper also reports that opposition politician Abu Ila Mahdi, detained on charges related to violence during protests, has been released after nearly 2 years of pre-trial detention. From Beirut, the Daily Star leads reporting that Lebanon's cabinet launched another weekly Thursday session expected to end with more tension and no decrees after no common discussion points were decided upon. The paper also reports that a mother and her 4 children were taken to the hospital with burns on different parts of their bodies after a fire torched their home in the Tripoli town of Qubbi. Telegraph leads reporting that a massive truck bomb ripped through a popular Baghdad food market in a predominantly Shiite neighborhood in the early morning hours on Thursday, killing at least 58 people. The truck detonated it in the Jamila market in the Iraq capital's crowded Sadr city neighborhood shortly after dawn. The Telegraph reports that a massive truck bomb ripped through a popular Baghdad food market in a predominantly Shiite neighborhood in the early morning hours on Thursday, killing at least 58 people. The truck detonated in the Jamila market in the Iraqi capital's crowded Sadr city neighborhood shortly after dawn. The Independent leads reporting that for years there have been persistent reports of Israel selling arms to regimes with records of egregious human rights abuses without the issue being discussed or questioned at home. But that is changing. Itay Mack, a young lawyer, is trying to break through the wall of secrecy around Israeli weapons exports and is pressing for an end to the arms and know-how transfers that are currently helping to fuel South Sudan's civil war and other conflicts. The Guardian leads reporting that Australia should expand its operations in the Middle East to stop bombing ISIS targets in Syria. The chair of the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Intelligence and Security, Dan Tehan, has urged the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, left the door open to conduct airstrikes in Syria when he announced in April that 330 Australian troops would be sent to Iraq on a training mission to combat ISIS. And now let's take a look at top Middle East headlines in international papers. From China, the Global Times reports that the Egyptian affiliate of Islamic State has published a photograph it said was of the beheaded body of a Croatian hostage it had threatened to kill last week. If confirmed, it will be the first known beheading of a Western hostage held by Sinai Province, the Egyptian group which changed its name from Ansar Bayt al-Maqdis after it pledged allegiance to ISIS. And finally, the International New York Times reports that the State Department said Wednesday that a recent visit to Moscow by the head of Iran's paramilitary Quds Force had violated the United Nations travel ban that has been imposed because of concerns about Tehran's nuclear and ballistic missile programs. The Iranian general at the heart of the complaint is Major General Qasem Soleimani, an operative who has the backing of Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. That was it for today. For more updates, please visit our website levant.tv. Thanks for watching and bye for now.